Hello friends, I hope your week has been out of this world and that everything you've done has just been blessed. And if it hasn't, know that the Lord loves you and you are good anyway. In all this world, in all this universe, there is nobody like you. Speaking of the universe, got some fun stuff that happened just a little while ago. We had this new picture come out of the black hole, a black hole. We've never seen a black hole before. And I typically wouldn't be super interested in astronomy, but my son, who's 4.5, loves anything related to the stars and asked me actually like a week ago, hey, can I see a picture of a black hole? Odd request for a 4.5-year-old, but his request was granted as we got the first ever visual of what a black hole looks like, which was really exciting news in the scientific field. But it does bring up a question that I get asked pretty frequently by people who think there is a disconnect between faith and science and faith and reason. And it happens especially when we have these big scientific discoveries, which are pretty cool. I saw a tweet that somebody posted that said, hey, it's really awesome that science predicted this, was able to guess what it might look like, and the image we got is, wouldn't you know it, what they had predicted and exactly how they thought it would look. And it had nothing disparaging about religion or faith, but I think sometimes people ask the question, well, like, how come faith can't provide those kinds of proofs or religion can't provide the same kind of experiences? And doesn't that mean that faith and reason maybe are opposed? So if your question is, or you've ever asked, do science and faith go together? The answer is yes, they absolutely do. And in fact, in the Catholic tradition, we treat science with a pretty high regard. Science is the way that we come to understand God. It's one way that we can understand God's order, God's creation, God's perfection when we look at the world around us. God isn't a random God. He doesn't just create things that have no rhyme or reason. He creates things that work, that are ordered, that fit. And as we seek to understand them through science and through theory and through tests and experimentation, we can see how good and how ordered this world actually is. For a Catholic, there can be no disparity between faith and reason. The two things go together. We love science. The Vatican even has a pontifical academy dedicated to science, which is a pretty cool thing. Some of the best scientific minds that gave us things like the Big Bang Theory, modern genetics, that even took a look at how we understand biology, all came out of the Catholic Church. They were abbots, they were priests, they were lay people who felt something good about the world and what God had created. Now, when we take a look at all of that, we have to ask ourselves, can science ever prove God? And the answer is no. Faith and reason work together, but reason alone isn't enough to give us a concrete proof for the Lord. However, it can help us to reasonably understand that it is more conceivable to believe in a God than to not believe in a God. And science can never disprove anything faith-related either. They exist in two different realms, but they work together. And as Catholics, we can have them both. We don't have to shun all of science and scientific discovery and say things like the Big Bang or the theory of evolution or this crazy black hole picture that looks like the eye of Sauron, I just need to throw that all out. We can look at that and say science is good. It helps us discover the world we live in. It helps us understand who God created us to be. And that doesn't shake our faith because we know that God is beyond the realm of science. God is the master and creator of all that we see, visible and invisible. And ultimately, our faith doesn't rest on a scientific proof, but an experience with a God who loves us. So if you've ever wondered if faith and science go together, yes, absolutely. And in the Catholic Church, we love our science as we love our Lord and we love our God. If you've got a question about anything, faith, science, reason, this black hole picture, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. We answer those questions on Ask Joel every single week. And while you're at it, why don't you leave the name of your favorite constellation? I always liked Ursa Major, the Big Bear, also known as the Big Dipper. But if you got one, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below, and we'll see you all back here next week on Ask Joel. I actually took an astronomy course in college, one of the easiest courses I've ever taken, but one of the highlights was absolutely the night that we got to go to the planetarium. And you know, look at all of the planets. Do I remember anything else from that class? No, but I know it was easy, and I know I got an A.